Hi, class. We are doing something very special now. Let me introduce you my colleague Alen. Hi, Alen.
Hello, everyone.
Hi. So, Alen is in Berlin, and the reason why we are calling him is because he used to work for IDEO and he's a great expert in design thinking from business perspective. So, you know that we came into this very special situation when we, on the one side, had a bunch of data from Google Analytics and Facebook audience insights, but for some of you, it might be more interesting to also figure out how to find customers with more qualitative methods, meaning soft data in our jargon. And I couldn't think of a better person to resolve that than Alan. Alan, what did I miss? I mean, you do so many stuff that if you should emphasize something for students, go ahead.
No, I think that's what's the most relevant for the students is, yeah, I'm a business designer, which basically means I use design thinking or design methodology to solve business challenges. As you mentioned, Maya, I work for IDEO, which is a company that popularized and also developed this method. And basically, what we do is we use design thinking to solve business challenges. And I guess this is what we're gonna talk about. And at the core of this thing is what you say soft data and what we call qualitative data. Yeah.
Yeah, soft data, it's a little bit less academic. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm dying to know what is this IDEO methodology, design thinking. I mean, could you walk us through a
Yeah.
model?
Yeah. So first of all, design thinking is a way of thinking. I know when I first heard about design thinking, I thought it has more to do with aesthetics, but what I realized it's actually a way of thinking. And the best way I put it is that when you usually go to any business school, the way they teach you to think is deductively. You know, you start with 10 options and then you start to work your way to the first and the best one. And the way that design methodology work is that you start with something that's really inherently ill-defined and you work your way out of it. I think it's called inductively, and then you go back, right? So it's a great way, a great methodology, especially for cases where you don't have enough data and where it's a big, hairy problem that you don't know how to deal with. So what you can do there is actually have one ill-defined question and work your way through with basically talking to customers and then figuring out what to do next. At the heart of this methodology, this is the last thing I have to mention, is that, and this is at the core is a customer, right? So this is what makes this methodology special and different from different business methodologies is that it always puts the customer, the end user, into the focus, and it uses empathy instead of questionnaires, analytics. You know, it's really very much just you as a person trying to understand another person.
Cool. That's really interesting. And I will go a little bit off script here because I just had this idea, this notion of Steve Jobs. Everybody thinks that he was this wacko, crazy genius that just like invented iPod because I don't know, he was sleeping on the couch and suddenly had this amazing idea. But what people fail to realize is that there is a lot of empathy at the heart of everything what is being designed in Silicon Valley and elsewhere. So, when we say empathy, I mean, it sounds so fuzzy, so warm and fuzzy. Could you define empathy further? Just like what it means to be empathetic, some examples. Just give
Yeah.
us some meat, Alan.
Yeah. So maybe just to build on your Apple story, is actually Apple has worked with IDEO. This is also the heritage of the company to develop, for example, the first Apple mouse. So a lot of these products that we see at Apple and other big companies, especially from the Silicon Valley, because the methodology is originating from the Silicon Valley, are using this methodology to actually have this superior advantage of customers. And this is what empathy is, right? So empathy is, it means if you think about it traditionally, you know, you have managers who are very much business oriented. Then you have some managers who are very much technologically oriented. And most of these managers or leaders, they when they make decisions, they're making these decisions from either of these two origins or perspectives, right? So what's best for the business, or how do we make the best technology? And that has worked quite well for the last, I don't know how many years, but with the let's say with more and more countries and companies and people mastering these two aspects, the business and the technology, you have the inflow and a lot of competition on these two levels. So empathy actually gives you this superior advantage because you understand your customers better, you understand their emotional and functional needs, and through that you can design better products, right? Because sometimes to design a good product and to design a good marketing strategy, you don't need to know, you don't need to have a better technological business knowledge, but you need to have a better knowledge of your customers. For example, there's a really nice story of a startup that actually worked with IDEO called PeelPack. PeelPack came to IDEO 5 years ago with an idea: we want to disrupt the pharmacies. And basically, what we did in the first phase, which is the empathy, right? We went out and we did interviews with users or potential users. And we figured out actually that uh, the space where these pharmacies should play in is basically in the management of older patients, or basically prescriptions for older patients, because they have the biggest pain, right? Because they're the ones who have 10, 15 different pills they have to take per day. So by doing these interviews, we actually realized in what setting they are thinking about their problems, so the patients, and what the potential solution could be, right? So in a nutshell, empathy is really looking from the perspective of your end users, talking to them, not just looking at the numbers, but really talking to them to realize what do they feel and what are they thinking about, and how important is the problem you're trying to solve to them.